Top tips. Ding, ding, ding. Fridges. I know it's been 4 months since I last did a top tips, but I'm going to spend a lot more time and I get to grips with the website and really pound down on it. It sounds a bit obscene. So here we go. Another top tips. Fridges. Fridges are easy. When you've become a fridge driver, you're at the pinnacle of the transport industry. We keep you alive. Without us, you'd all be dead from starvation. That's basically the long and the short of it. Fridges are the lifeblood of the country. And I'm not even joking. So, yeah, people get a bit nervous about fridges. There's nothing really to be nervous with fridges. They're fairly, it's one of those things, once you know what you're doing, they're easy. So I'm going to show you the 3 different types of fridges. You've got the carrier fridge, which are a bit crap and noisy. You've got the old style Thermo King control panel, which is really easy, the easiest of the lot. And the new style Thermo King control panel, which I've got on now because I've got a brand new Schmitz fridge on. So I'm going to show you those 3. So they're basically setting temperature and stuff, clearing faults, and so on and so forth, and stop, start, and continuous. Continuous, I never put anything on continuous unless the customer asks for it. Continuous is just a waste of fuel in my opinion. If the load is properly cooled before it goes into your fridge, it doesn't need to be on continuous basically. Yeah, so then I'm going to show you a couple of different other things like the partition doors, pulling them up and down. It's not, that's something that can catch you out. Caught me out with a partition door first time. I'll show you about them. Maybe if I can find a hanging fridge, I'll show you about the hooks. And fuel. That's it really, basically. Like I say, fridges aren't really that difficult. A couple of things to remember. People often ask on forums about temperatures and stuff. The temperature isn't your decision to make. Always ask the customer. Never ever decide off your own back. Make sure it's either your office or the customer has told you what temperature it's got to be at, and if possible have it on the paperwork, then set the temperature to what they want. You know, because everything's different temperatures, and sometimes they want, even meat. I remember when I worked for HSF, a lot of companies like the bacon being run at -5, because when it's very slightly frozen it's easier to cut. So it's things like that. So the temperature is always down to the customer, it's whatever they want. And yeah, cleaning it out doesn't need cleaning very often. Depends what you carry. If you've got hanging or you carry bins of meat and that leaks blood out, it needs washing. I remember once talking to a driver. It wasn't one of our drivers, it was somebody else doing the same work as we do, though, down to Orleans with the big bins. He was moaning because he went to Cadbury's in Blois, straight from Orleans, and they wouldn't load him because there was blood on the floor, and he was quite angry about this. And I had to walk away in the end because I was about to call him an idiot. Nobody will load you if your floor's covered in blood. Don't go to a customer and try and load a trailer covered in blood. If you can't find a wash, it's basically just get a doodle of water, like thusly, and you'll have a blade, and just blade it out. Make the effort, try and clean it out. So yeah, and people try and, like he went to try and load chocolate with a load of blood all over the floor. It's just not the done thing. Plus, of course, you carry chocolate at +15, so it starts smelling. So that's it really. So I'm going to, like I say, show you the 3 different types of fridges, partition doors, fueling. On stop start, a fridge will last over a week. Mostly, it depends what you're carrying, and obviously it depends. If you got frozen in summer, it lasts a lot less time than frozen in winter, and logically stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, on stop start, the fridge lasts a long time. On continuous, it only lasts like 2 or 3 days, but continuous, like I say, is a waste of time. Obviously, some things won't need to be on continuous, like pharmaceuticals and things like that. But like I say, unless the customer asks specifically for continuous, they don't get it. The other thing is interesting to note. I mean, there was a bit on TruckNet recently about turning the fridge off at night. I've been driving fridges for 20 years and I turn the fridge off every night. Well, if you do that, you're a tit. Like somebody else pointed out, the customer pays for a fridge. Just because you can't sleep with the fridge on doesn't mean you can turn it off. In fact, if you can't sleep with the fridge on, try driving something else. So no, you should never turn the fridge off. In fact, if we turn the fridges off, all our fridges are linked up and tracked independently of the truck. So if ever a fault code pops up on the fridge, so sometimes you'll be driving along and you get a text message, can you check the fridge please? It's really handy actually, because it means you've always got two people keeping an eye on everything on the fridge. So yeah, so if we turn the fridge off at night, you'd soon get a text message. And they go on about not needing a printout and stuff like that. Well, a few of our customers actually, the office have to email the temperature record to the customer. We're independent of us, we don't even know anything about that. Certainly when somebody hadn't got it the other day and they asked for it, can you get onto your office to email the temperature record? See, if you'd have turned the fridge off overnight, they wouldn't be happy, nor would our office. So no, don't turn the fridges off. So I'm just heading down to the Dublin yard now. This is a very serious video, isn't it? And I'm talking very quickly. I'm going to wash the fridge out, show you the partition door. This is a split fridge. And show you how to work this new style of Thermo King. And I'm going to drop it. It's actually going to be loaded with those bins of meat. It's a nice new Schmitz. It's got a nice metal floor as well. Metal floors are the best. So yeah, onward! Right, so this, my friends, is a new style Thermo King. Obviously, the on switch switches it on. Don't like these, they're too slow. Compared to the old Thermo King, was super fast. This is like having a carrier again. Everything takes forever to set up. Configuring system. So basically this has got two compartments, zone 1, zone 2. If you want to set zone 1, press zone 1 and it'll ask you for the set point plus change. So say you want a +5, OK, yes, simple as that. And that's basically it. Then if you want to change zone 2, you do the same thing. Or you can turn the zone off. And I've just turned that off, see? Basically, this is start-stop continuous. So if you want it on, it's on cycle century, that means it's on start-stop. If you change it, it'll go on continuous. The diesel engine starting now, and it's going to get too noisy. These are really quiet though, this is really quiet, wait until you hear it. I was amazed when I picked this up the other day. Okay, you can start now. Please. So basically, like I say, they're the two zones. Press them to change the set point or turn them on and off. This is start, stop, cycle century. Press that, it'll go on to continuous. But like I say, you don't really need continuous very often. And that's for defrost. With these ones, they don't have a separate switch for the electric plug-in on the Ferry. Basically, you plug it in on the Ferry, the man will come along and plug it in, it'll give you an option will come up, change to electric, and you just press yes. And then when he unplugs it, or when you unplug it at the end of the Ferry, the option will come back up without switching back to diesel. Obviously press yes again, just remember that, otherwise you mess up. So that is the new style Thermo King. Well, I didn't really do the fault code will be obvious. Basically, if it's showing up with a fault, go to menu. And it'll come up with alarms. And then you can select the alarms. No alarms. Normally it'll come up with an option to clear them. Okay? Your best bet with alarms actually is if you have an alarm and the fridge is stopping, just Google it. Just Google Thermo King fault code number whatever and it'll come up. That's where the fuel is on this one. It's got half a tank. I haven't got a fuel piece, so I can't fill it up. So I'm just going to wash it out now though, it needs a bit of a clean. Top tip, when you wash it out, drop some then the water will nice run out nice and quick. As you saw on fridge itself, it's got two compartments. So you've got a fridge at the front and the back. And then you've got the partition door. All the partition doors are different, depends on what manufacturer you've got. Some of them are real. We've got some Grand Adams ones with the flexible ones. Supermarket trailers, as I call them. But most of them, it depends what you're doing. If you're doing tramping and stuff like that, most of the ones you'll come across here, the supermarket ones just hang up with a strap, really. These ones have got to what to pull it. One thing you got to remember is the first time I picked up a load and it was a split load, they loaded it halfway and I lifted the door up the front. A lot of the doors need to be pulled down halfway before they unlock and slide backwards and forwards to stop them. So I had to take half the load back off again so I could get the door down. So you pull it down, thusly, what is it, a springy door, and then it'll go backwards and forwards. And then once you put it down like that, there we go, sorted. You've got your partition door down. Normally you want 4 pallet spaces in the front before you put the partition door down, otherwise the fridge isn't going to work properly, but depends what company you're working for. Then you just do the same, pop it back up. And make sure it's locked. The other thing is, don't put it right at the back. Some people slide it all the way back and clip it up. But I'll turn that around now. Because you've got the fridge up here, and you mustn't block any of this airflow. So basically, if you're going to store the door away, your best bet is like this in the middle. Not too far up the front, not too close down the back. But now I'm going to wash it out. Alright, so I'll just drop that trailer around a key pack. On one of a top tip is always leave the door open on a fridge, especially if you've got to leave it for a day or two. Especially if you washed it as well, that gives the floor a chance to dry out, and it also stops any smells accumulating. As it's in his contract, I'm going to have to show Sir Bertie now. Don't you forget that contract. Don't you dare. Yes, I know, Bertie, this is why you're in the video that you shouldn't really be in. I should be in all the videos. I put you where you are. You'd be nothing without me. Nothing, I tell you. Nothing. Yes. So don't you dare forget it. Otherwise I'll go live with somebody else and make them a star. You're the star though, Bertie. That's the thing, isn't it? Well, I suppose I am. Hello, fans. Are you well? Anyway, leave me alone. Go and faff around with fridges, you stupid man. Oh, shining in my face. Okay? You okay now? Are you happy? When am I ever happy? Up yours. Right, so this is a carrier. This has 2 compartments too. The controls are up there, 1 and 2. Carriers are actually quite easy to use. On, off, electric, engine. Actually it's on electric for some reason. So basically, come on. Oh, they're both off. So basically, you have the set point. This is compartment 1, then it goes 2. That's compartment 2. So just to change a set point, you just go down and up like that, and then press the equals button. Set point changed. That's the current box temperature. And then just wait for it to go. And then just wait for it to go to compartment 1 and then change the temperature again. If you've got an alarms, any alarms coming up, just press alarm list. It's come off now. Carriers are a pain in the arse though. So if you've got any alarms, an alarm might pop up now because I'll just put it on electric. Just press the alarm list. No active alarms, but if it comes up, then just press select. You've got manual defrost. And there's the start, stop and continuous button. Continuous road mode selected. There it is, an alarm flashing, but often it'll just be a service alarm or something like that, you know. No power, check power cord. So anyway, yeah, there's no power. So anyway, say for instance you are about to get on a boat. You come up, you switch the fridge off, okay, put the electric on, okay, and then plug in the electric to here, and then switch the fridge on, right? And that should be it. One of the things you got to remember when you're on a ferry is stay downstairs with the man who's plugging you in, because sometimes they won't start up or whatever, and they'll only call you back down anyway, so your best bet is just to stay. So like I say, it's easy. Temperature, press equals to set it. You see, like, there we go. Set. Alarm list. These are sort of quite simple because of all these bits and pieces. So that's basically it for a carrier. I don't think there's anything else you need to know. All the fridges have got lights in different places for the inside, and you have to have your side lights on nearly all fridges for the interior lights to work. On this one, this is a lambré, that's the interior light. On the Schmitz, which I just dropped, it's actually on the light cluster on the other side, I think, on the Schmitz. But yeah, and there's the electric plug-in for this one. And the Anderson lead is really good. It means it's connected to the battery on the fridge, and we got a 12 volt one wired up to the lorry, so you can just jump start them. Let's go and find our old style Thermo King. There's one over there. I'm coming! I say old style Thermo King, but they're sort of current. They're pretty much one of the most common things you'll possibly find. Box temperature is the big one, set point is the little one. Again, set point, you just press the arrow buttons and you'll see the set point go up and down. Press equals, load, that means it's set. Alarm codes, if you've got any alarms come up, you can just press clear. There, and it clears the alarms. 00, don't worry about that, that's normally just service. This has got 2 compartments too, so 1 and 2, that's fairly straightforward. Again, with the electric plug-in, get on a ferry, turn the fridge off, switch it onto electric there, that's the electric button, plug it in, switch the fridge back on, and then wait for it to start up. If you want to program continuous or start-stop on these, you press select, and you'll see defrost cycles, okay? And then you press no, and then equals, and that means it's programmed onto continuous now. Okay, so no cycles. Cycles is start stop. Just going to change that back. And that's pretty much it for the Thermo King. This is slightly different. This is another Thermo King. For the set point on these ones, just press menu and then set point. And it's fairly straightforward, up and down. So say, and then yes, and then you got the set point again, the same as the other Thermo King. You got the start stop there, manual defrost, and again these are the same. Plug them in when you get on the ferry. Don't bother switching it off, just plug it in and it will give you an option to turn to electric on the screen. Turn it to electric, and when you unplug it, remember to I'm going to move away now because that's about to start up. Remember to press yes again to turn back to diesel. They're both starting up, they're in sync. So that's basically it for fridges. I hope that has been useful and informative. There are some really ancient fridges. Oh, hang on, I think that's a hanging trailer over there. I might go and see if that's got a hanging load on it. Give me a moment. So you see this trailer's plugged in. When it's on the ferry, you want to wait for it to start up, you just got to wait for that sound, the fans. Sometimes on the Brittany ferries and stuff, they have a little flag on a stick because it sucks the air in. Oh dear, excuse me. This one's plugged in over there. Some of them are in funny places. They very, very, very occasionally, I think I've only ever pulled one, you might find a trailer with the electric plug-in all the way down the back for some unknown reason. Obviously spec'd for a particular job, but that's the carrier, same as I just showed you. There's the diesel tanks in the middle there. This one's got hanging on by the looks of it. Let's see if we can get in the back and have a look. No, it hasn't got hanging load on it, but it has got some jumbos up the front there, look. Basically, it hasn't actually got any hooks in this one. Basically, you'll see the hooks hang on the rails here. And these little swivelly things, you knock them round to stop the hooks sliding backwards and forwards. When you load hanging, it's not generally your business. You just back on the bay and they load it. And they pack it all in. So they make sure it's stopped all the way down. Depends, some places are good, some places aren't so good. But on a full load of hanging, it's really not a problem. People worry about hanging, but obviously go steady to start with, but as soon as you get the gist of it, you really don't have to worry about things like that. It behaves really well. So yeah, you just hang all the hooks up, and when you finish with them, just drag them all back, and these are like the parking places for the hooks. On European hanging trailers, hang on, let me just jump down. Yeah. They have round rails, and the hook goes over like that, so they're removable, so they hop them. And they got little connectors up here, so they can connect them straight into the warehouse and just slide them straight off. But then as some places, and anybody does, there's like a place in Holland that does all that, and they pull them all off, but then they just chuck you several boxes of hooks to hang back up again. So they like exchange the hooks, and it takes you about an hour to hang the hooks back up. So that's basically it for fridges. I hope this has been useful and informative. There's a lot of fridges in here today, there's not normally this many. Yeah, so that's that, that's pretty much that. I'm now going to go up to Virginia and start a 24-hour break. I've got a T-bone steak for tea. And Bertie's got 2 pork chops. 7:01. I had the double deckers, actually that's another one, the double deckers. I had one on the last Denmark and Sweden trip. There isn't any here. They just got little clips either side of the rail, and they just lift up and down. You pull the little clips and slide them down. The other thing with double deckers is to remember, because the bars go up, to store them upwards when you're finished and you not have a double deck load on. Be very careful. Do you like my way I'm filming? Be very careful not to, like with the partition doors, not to block the airflow. So there's usually a red line across the tops of fridges, so keep the double deck bars below the red lines to keep the airflow going across the top and the bottom. So that's the main thing with fridges, is airflow. That's another thing I didn't point out with the hooks. When you're empty, don't store all the hooks at the front, because on several occasions I've had trailers where somebody stored the hooks at the front and they've loaded it and it's sealed and everything, and the fridge has major problems because it blocks all the airflow, so it can't keep down. It won't get down to temperature, especially on a frozen load. So yeah, don't store the hooks at the back where they're supposed to be stored. Occasionally you might need to put them at the front. Sometimes I've carried ambient loads, which doesn't matter about the fridge then, which are really high, and they're awkward at the back. But apart from that, keep them at the back. So keep the hooks at the back, keep the partition door stored in the middle, and keep any double deck rails below the red line. And you should be sorted. This has been a very serious video, isn't it? Serious teaching, Luke. And again, I'd just like to reiterate, I don't think I'm the best in the world. I'm just passing on a bit of knowledge that I've gained over the past 15 years of being a professional driver. I was lucky when I first started. I had my dad on the other end of the phone, so I could ring him for anything, and I used to ring him near enough every day when I first started. Yeah, you see a lot of these young lads on the forums and stuff, and they're sort of dumped into the deep end, so I'd like to try and help a little bit. So hopefully these little videos are a bit of a help. And yeah, that's all I want to do. I help. I'm not trying to make out I'm the best in the world. I'm just, anybody who's been doing fridges for any length of time knows all about what I've just shown you. I'm not trying to show you teach my granny to suck eggs. I'm trying to help. God, I'm so worthy, aren't I? But I want to help people. I want to help young lads just starting out. So, that is fridges. I'm going to Virginia now to wash Holly the lorry, because she's filthy. Onward! Just sort of a little aside, like I said, if you're on a ferry and you're waiting for a plug-in, stay with the man until it starts up, the fans start turning. Because if it doesn't, they'll just call you back down again anyway. And if it doesn't, and it happens surprisingly often, stand your ground. Because they just want to give up. Oh, there's a problem with the fridge, and then just walk away. I've only ever had a problem with the fridge on electric once, and it being the fridge fault. Every other time, it's been their cables, because they get run over and battered and all sorts. So if the fridge won't start, make them at least try one more, and I have to make them try 2 more cables, and that normally does the trick. So yeah, stand your ground, bloody ferrymen, trying to swindle me out of electricity. Right, Bertie? Bertie's gone to bed. He was out last night. Can't Ryan. I think he met up with a floozy called Leslie. She'll love that. Oh dear. Didn't you, Bertie? Did you meet up with Mrs. McDonald, the floozy? Yes. She's your friend, not mine. Well, you had a good night with her drinking wine, didn't you? Yes, I suppose so. It's a funny old mood today. I've been out of Ireland for about 5 weeks. If you're Irish, don't take this the wrong way. But I'd forgotten how bloody, truly terrible the driving standards are over here, he says while filming. The amount of times we've been cut up today is unbelievable. Anyway, onward! And another thing I just thought of actually is when you catch the train, turn the fridge off yourself, but then for some reason, often the idiots that chop you down, well, they're not all idiots, then they switch on to electric. I don't know what they think they're doing by doing that. They've done it surprisingly often with me. So I go back, flick the fridge on with the on-off switch, and get in the lorry and drive. And then 4 hours later, I realise that the fridge isn't on because some tit on the train decided to switch it to electric. So that's worth checking always as well, is when you are getting back on the train, make sure the fridge comes on and everything. You shouldn't really, it's not really good practice to drive 4.5 hours without checking the fridge. But like I say, our fridges are tracked, so I often drive like that, because if there's any faults, the office will text you. while you're driving. So, but of course, you must always pull over to a safe place before you read the text. At that point, you can check the fridge. This is going to be a very long video. I'm sorry for being so serious. Right. Good day, Joe. As you were.